Sup Tickers, Space Bandit here with yet another episode of World of Tanks, and today I want to talk about, again, a very touchy topic, and you guys tell me whether I'm crazy or not, but things happening in this game have been driving me nuts. What I'm going to show you today happens to me more often than not, believe it or not, and it's becoming annoying to the point that it literally gives me no enjoyment to come back into the game. So for those of you that have been with me for a long time, you know that what I enjoy this game for is the fact that I'm able to clutch games at the end of the game. And that's kind of become my go-to thing. And I have a belief in myself that I can actually pull the game back even if we're behind by 4 or 5 tanks. That's been basically what brings me back to the game. It makes me want to play. Every time you pull out the game like this, it makes you feel amazing because you're able to achieve something that it's extremely hard to achieve. But lately, what has been concerning is in those situations that I found myself quite often, to be honest, because in today's game and today's meta, it is quite common that one team runs over the other team, and I find myself on the losing end more often than not. But what lately has been happening is, I don't know, it just feels to me like my ability to clutch or carry at the end of the game is taken away by either RNG or some sort of algorithm. I cannot really define what it is, but last 4 or 5 times when I ended up in such situation, basically the game decided that I should lose. That's what it feels like to me. So what you've seen in the intro clip was, I believe, 1v6 situation on map Hellbraun, which is quite good map for the light tank if you wanted to clutch it. Yet I wasn't given opportunity to clutch or carry because artillery pulled off an insane shot. And taking under consideration accuracy of artillery, that shot was quite unlikely. But let me tell you, it happens more often than not that those shots actually hit. And especially I'm trolled endgame when I'm trying to clutch it. Seems artillery is able to hit those shots more often than not. Now in this clip that I'm showing you right now, I'm in the Chinese TD 114 SP2, and you know, the game was very close. Like, it was 5-5 nearing the last 7 minutes of the game, and I was sitting at about 6k damage, something like that. It was really good game for me, and our team was pretty much defending from this corner because the opposition was pushing hard, and I was trying to get myself in positions where I can be effective yet not spotted, use my gun. As you know, this tank has fantastic gun, but that rate of fire is not the best, so you have to put yourself in position to succeed. But at the end of the game, my team decided to commit suicide. Tyrande was almost fully healthy, went in and pretty much got killed. So my only play here was to try to push this light tank, get him out of the game, and then try to hold this position here to get rid of rest of the opposition team, because I don't think they had high health, and I was still at 1600 HP, so I was still convinced I'm able to clutch it. Now the biggest concern for me was the Murat, because if Murat puts 3 shells into me, then the opposition's team's SP2 puts another shell into me, they take me out of the game. But with my HP, I should be able to clutch it, so I'm going to play it really safely here. I'm going to knock this tree down because I'm anticipating one of these guys will stay on top of the ridgeline, and there's the J Panther, so we're going to take him out of the game. So now I'm just 1v2 versus the Murat and 114 SP2. So we're going to hold it here, and we're going to try to wait who shows up next. And I'm expecting it to be Murat, and there he is, because he's much faster than SP2. So I wanted to push this Murat over here, but then I was worried that maybe SP2 is sitting on top of the ridgeline where I shot the J Panther too, so I didn't want to overexpose here. But I wanted to kind of come around and check what happens here, paying attention to Murat, but look what happens. SP2 shot me and blew my ammo rack and took me out of the game, basically giving me no opportunity to come back and win this game. So, I don't know. You guys tell me, am I imagining things, or is this happening more often in the game where looks like Wargaming wants these games to finish much sooner? They don't want the games to be dragging. Would they put something in the algorithm to ensure that the game doesn't last as long and you get taken out as quickly as possible so that the game can close and you can go to the next one. I don't know, it's really hard for me to believe that I'm having such a horrible luck with the game, especially since my last 5 games, clutchable games that were 1v4 or 1v5 or 1v6, ended up being either ammo racked, set on fire, shot by RD on the move. It just makes no sense. And in SP2 situation, I didn't even have damaged ammo rack, and I rarely get ammo racked in that tank, so I don't really know where this came from. And I would have ended up with something like 7 to 8k game, which was quite frustrating. Anyway, that's not it. I want to show you another game which I had in T34-3 tier 8 Chinese medium tank, which was a premium tank that was recently given away. And that tank has its issues, honest, real issues with the gun. That gun doesn't want to perform as well as you want it to, but we try to make it workable. Yet in this situation, it's not about the gun. And the game I'm going to show you is, again, similar scenario where we'll be forced to clutch it at the end of the game, but the game won't let us. And you'll see what happens here in this game. We're on map Serene Coast, and, you know, in this tank, I shouldn't really be sniping. This tank's gun is just not very good. But because the teams were so freaking brutal on this day, I didn't want to push forward, because when I pushed forward, I got run over and killed. So I really wanted to stay within proximity of my team. And just take a look at the distribution of my team. It's just like horrible. Nobody went to the east side of the map. Everybody's hanging around on the southwest side. So, like, that's why you do this nowadays. In today's meta, you have to kind of wait it out a little and see what your team is doing so that you don't do something stupid and get yourself in a situation where you'll die early in the game. So I decided to sit back a little. Yeah, I'm trying to snipe, which is not the greatest thing with this tank, but the problem is if I go to area C1, I don't really have gun depression to fight with, so I can't really do anything there. I guess one option would be to head down to area E2 or E3 down low and try to spot out the opposition, but we already have a light tank at position F4, so he's already doing that job. I don't have to do that. I'm gonna try to scoot up a little bit closer to the position where I could actually get some shots into these guys on top of the hill, but looks like our team is actually the one pushing the cause on that side of the map, so I won't have any shots right now until our friendlies get pushed back and the opposition starts poking over that ridgeline. So that's what we're anticipating. We're going to pull back a little bit here, and hopefully we can use our gun here in a split moment. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the fact that none of our teammates went onto the east side of the map will tell you that sooner than later the opposition is going to start spilling into that area. And look at our RD. He's just sitting in a base circle. He's not even moving. Like, he should be anticipating that the opposition will be coming from the east side and running away at the moment. But nope, he's sitting there right in the base circle, like this is gonna help him. Situational awareness, guys. That's why my map is on top left side of the screen, so that I can look at it every split second to see what's happening to my team and to the opposition team. So in this game, we're being a little bit too passive, and this is usually the case if you're being really passive early in the game. You're not contributing, and if you're not contributing, you're not dealing damage. If you're not dealing damage, that means that your team will likely die out, because you, being a top tier, are not putting up any damaging numbers, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. But I'm not doing it out of stupidity or the fact that I want to hide from the game. That's not the case. I just wanted to understand what the opposition is doing and whether I can help out in the area that I'm at. Like, I don't want to isolate myself, be in a situation where I can't really do damage later on and be taken out by the opposition team. So now we have shots into this T34-3 because we noticed that the opposition started to push through the center area of the map, and we're gonna have to switch to heat rounds over here because standard rounds on this tank are pretty horrible. I can't remember the penetration, but there's something like 175 maybe? I don't know. Very low. So you're pretty much forced to use your heat rounds, which have 250 millimeters of penetration, but the shell velocity is so horrible on these heat shells, plus they derp like crazy. That's why I said this tank is probably not the greatest when it comes to gun. It has a little bit of armor, some mobility, but not a gun. Anyway, we realized this AT-15 is coming from behind us, so we decided to go behind that ridgeline here. so we can maybe engage him. I know he's on a reload, but his reload is so fast I didn't realize that. So we took a hit, unfortunately, there. We're gonna have to back up and play it the right way. So you drop behind the ridgeline here, use your strong turret armor. We're gonna try to hit his cupola right there. Can we? Yes, I think we kind of hit that cupola right there. So we're gonna do step and repeat. Our light tank gets after the AT-15, which is a good thing. Let him do his thing. We're gonna try to put a shell into him right there, but we hit that. I don't really know what we hit. Was that a tree, a concrete post, or something? I don't know. There was something in the way. Regardless, so we're just gonna try to lose our sixth sense. Artie is aiming at us. We don't want to get slaughtered right now. Right there, we lost our sixth sense, and this is the time where you need to counter push. Or I was thinking to myself, this is the time that I should be counter pushing, because whatever the opposition was coming through the center or through the east side of the map, they're no longer here. So probably that side or that flank is clear. That will give me opportunity to win that flank and potentially encircle the opposition if my team is still alive on the west side of the map. So that's what we're gonna do. And we also realized that our Iron Rain made the same play. So we have some support, which is good. The key thing here is for our team to stop dying. I can't have them die. I need to get into position where I can actually deal some damage to the opposition, maybe give them some spots. But what I need them to do is survive. Now, T-34-3 has really good mobility. This tank actually moves around the battlefield quite well. The issue is gun depression in the gun. That's pretty much it. I think the gun being the worst, literally a potato gun. Doesn't matter how much you upgrade it. If you have fully upgraded commander with all the gun skills, you're still gonna derp with this gun no matter what. So keep that in mind. And the fact that you have to actually use those heat rounds more often than not, it sucks. It would be nice if the actual standard AP rounds had something like 212, even 205 millimeters of pen would be better than what it is right now. But yeah, 212, 215. Actually, to bring it up to the standard of a tier 8 gun, it should probably be at about 220 millimeters of pen. But I understand that this tank is preferential matchmaking tank, so they don't really want to bump the stats for these tanks, especially since you're only facing tier 9s. But even at tier 9, 250 millimeters of heat pen at tier 9 is nothing, is bad. So yeah. Anyway, we're getting ourselves in a position right now where we should be able to spot the opposition team. Unfortunately, most of our team died out on the other side of the map before we can make it into this position, which kind of sucks, but we're gonna try to make the best of it. Now, making sure that we pull back behind that hill or behind that rock when Artie's looking at us. We don't want to get slaughtered because we know what Artie can do, and this tank can get set on fire. So keep that in mind. Actually, I get set on fire in this tank more often than not, so I would strongly recommend carrying fire extinguisher if you can, because it will definitely help with that aspect. Anyway, we have our light tank with us, which is good, so I'm hoping he's gonna get us some spots. But the problem is he's only on 6 HP, which means that he has to be really careful. But I was hoping he knows what he's doing. We see this Artie here, we put a shell into him, but now artillery is gonna side scrape on us, I think. Yeah, he's side scraping on us, so we have very narrow shot over there. We won't be able to pen him with heat round even at this angle, I don't think. So we're gonna have to switch it to the HE round, because with HE round we'll be able to just splash and kill him, especially since he's only sitting at what, 8 HP. Can we? Yes, we can. We take him out of the game. Unfortunately, our whole team on the other side of the map has died, so our plan didn't really work out fully. At the same time, I don't really know what our TD is doing sitting at G8. I don't know who he's shooting, who he's supporting. He should be either moving to the central area of the map or supporting us. At the same time, our light tank dies. And did you see that? Did you see that shot by Artie? That was ridiculous. I don't know. Artie had insane accuracy in this game. And I'm gonna wiggle here, try to get out of dodge so that he doesn't hit me. Luckily, we are able to fool him. But now it's 2v5. We're in trouble. Now, I'm gonna try to run away and get myself in a situation or position where I can actually defend. I was considering going through the middle there between those rocks, and probably I should have, because I would have been able to get into a better position. I did not anticipate the opposition's TD to be that quick and spot me around the corner, and you'll see what happens. I thought that I'm fast enough to run away from these guys and get myself closer to where our TD is, closer to the base, because there's better protection there. But yeah, for whatever reason I got spotted here, and I'm like, how? I'm pretty fast. I'm not sure what opposition TD was so fast that was able to catch up with me. That was in my head, and now I'm getting outspotted. So it's a problem because I'm not in the greatest position. Artie can hit me easily here, and yeah, defensively it's just not a good position. Now pay attention to the map. K4 area. Take a look at RTD over there. RTD will catch and spot the Artie in a split moment. And when you look at the mini map, take a look at opposition's Artie. It's moving. Opposition Artie was moving when it took the shot to kill RTD. That should tell me something, right? But I didn't realize, like, I wasn't looking at the mini map for that long to be able to get this information. Instead, I just know that it's 1v5 and I have a chance for Kolobanovs. And I'm like, okay, this is great. This is fantastic. I still have enough HP, I think, but then I see this Wheezy 120 Chinese TD and he's full health. And I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm surviving this. If they all push me, I'm dead. But we're going to try to play it smart. So we're going to try to use this ridgeline behind us and kind of maybe try to poke up and spot the SU-152 just because I want to know where he is. I know he's there somewhere, but I don't know where. But also, I just don't want to give away my HP. I want to make sure I'm going to try to prevent being hit as much as possible, then take damage when I get it, just like that. Put a shell into this Wheezy. Now SU gets spotted, so we know where he is. And here I'm going to make a little bit of a misplay because I actually thought that I'm going to have enough of the cover from the ridgeline in front of me to cover the front of my tank, but I guess I was exposing my drive wheel or something. So he puts a shell into me. We put another shell into the Wheezy. He fluffs his shot. And now we're not going to make the same mistake again. We're going to try to respot the SU. Can we? Yeah, I don't really want to push out that far because I don't want to make the same mistake. Instead, we're going to try to go backwards, use the ridgeline and our strong turret armor there to spot him. So we do spot him. He's up there. And I think we should be able to get our gun down right over here. But again, I was worried that the rear of my tank would be poking up too much so that he has shots. So we're going to turn around and we'll use our front instead. And now we're going to use our strong turret armor to make sure we don't overexpose. We just go hold down and put shells into this ISU. So we bounce the shell from him. Question is, can we take him out of the game? Yes, we can, and we take no damage. This is key, because if I've taken damage here and lost HP, I wouldn't be able to carry this. Now, unfortunately, I do not reload in time here to kill this Wheezy 120, and he puts a shell on the move, mind you, into me, and it was most likely auto-aimed. So now we can focus this Stur Emil. We put a shell into him. Now, he's very soft. As long as we play it hold down, we should be able to chew his health down. The only way he'll be able to kill me if he actually shoots my cupola or if I overexpose my hull. So we're gonna be really cautious here. Now, Artie hasn't been aiming at me in this position, so I'm thinking that I'm relatively safe right here. Maybe this house is keeping me in safety. But now that Stur Emil disappears, I basically told myself I need to push this right here, right now. I need to take him out of the game in order to have a chance to win, because once this other TD shows up, I'll be in trouble. But the Artie shows up, so we're going to try to take a shot at him, but Wargaming says no. We hit the ground, and look what happens here. Yeah, go figure. On the move. Artie was on the move. He was falling off the ridgeline. He auto-aims, snaps, and kills me behind the ridgeline. I was actually behind the ridgeline. Hold down. He hits me. Kills me. Again, the same situation. I'm 1v5. I'm extending the game. I'm trying to win for the team. Get my Kolobanov's medal. I'm not able to because I'm not allowed. Wargaming says no. So with this accent, I will finish this video. You guys tell me whether I'm crazy or not, or whether it's been happening to you or not. Have you seen increase of such scenarios at the end of the game, especially if you're losing and you are versus, 2, 3, 4 tanks? I have noticed that something like this happens, something extremely weird, and it's not out of my fault. Most of the time it's because Wargaming says no. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking. Space Bandit checking out.